Play in water.
How will you do that?
You're starting with the host.
When I have a chance. Yeah, I will. And please say hi to Rick and the rest of your family. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, iPhone, please enter your name. Okay. There was Beth there. I don't know if you saw her or not. I did see her, but it says please enter your name. I have it under Donald Moore, I'm sure.
You guys, there are so many people on this call. I am just so delighted with how many people have joined us today. I'm going to take a very brief minute just to say hello, and then I'm going to pass this over onto Oliver. If you're not talking, please will you just mute your microphone so that there's not all the feedback.
Here others who join audio call using internet audio. Is that what I do?
You might be hearing your voice.
I'm hearing somebody's voice going through instructions. Can you put your... Okay, now I don't hear it anymore. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for...
Hold it, Beth. We sort of have to wait for Jim.
Jim's on.
Is Jim on?
Yeah.
Here. Oh, hey, Jim. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Folks.
Okay, so thank you all. I know it's really hard to see everybody. Thank you so much for being on the call. We obviously have a lot going on with July around the corner and not really knowing what lies ahead. We're making some difficult decisions at Artown, but the one thing I can promise you is that we will have Artown in some shape or form, and we need all of you to, you're creative and experimental, and this is the time we're all going to gather as that creative entity and come up with what we are able to do in the arts this July. So thank you again so much for everything that you've done and continue to do for our community, for the arts, for Artown, and for yourselves. I'm going to turn this over to Oliver. Just to let you know, from my staff, we have Oliver and Raquel and myself on the call. Jim, who handles all of our IT stuff, and he does our website, he is on the call, and Stuart, who does a lot of videoing for us, will be joining the call as soon as he is able. So I am actually going to go and silence some of these, some of the microphones. And I'm going to turn this over to Oliver. Thank you very, very much. I so appreciate you being on this call. And here we go.
As do I. Thanks, everybody. Wow, we have 5 pages of participants. I think we have 71 people. That's a personal Zoom record. I'm excited to see everybody. Hope everybody, first of all, is well and safe. Artown has really been trying to be mindful of everybody's challenges and the circumstances we're presented with here with the pandemic. And unfortunately, many venues are just not available to us as programmers. And so we ourselves as an organization have had to make a pivot, and that involves several key things. Number one, this year, unfortunately, we're not going to have a physical little book, but the calendar of events are going to, once we've got everything solidified, are going to be displayed on the Artown website. And that's why we're here with Jim, our webmaster, who does all of our programming for our website, and is here to provide an update of what that's going to look like moving forward. Because what we want to do is, we know that all 75 or 6, as it continues to grow here, are all ready to participate. But how you'll participate with social distancing and the COVID-19 restrictions is something that is not even known to us. So that's what this discussion is about, along with informing you about some key changes to the website that you're going to need to be participatory in to move this forward, so that we can present accurate information in 2020 at the festival. So first off, welcome everybody, and again, I hope you're all well and safe. I'd like you to introduce you to Jim Freeman, our town webmaster who does all of our web work.
Hi there, greetings. Anyways, I've been doing the website for probably about 8-9 years. I don't think I've really met any of the presenters necessarily. I've always been kind of in the background. This year presents a little bit of a challenge, and we had talked about creating a new portal where we could have stripped down versions of the presenters, the presentations and the events. But what we ultimately came up with was we're going to take all the events that are in the portal and we're going to reopen them and then ask you to log in, update any information that you might need, such as mask information or social distancing. Perhaps the event times have changed, or maybe the location, the venue has changed, and then quickly go through the 4 pages. At the last of the 4 pages, there'll be a new COVID-19 checkbox, which will have some policies that Artown is currently drafting, and Oliver could provide more information on that. And agree with that, and then click submit, and then that's it. And then we'll know by you confirming and updating the events, we'll know that the event is still going forward. Any events that aren't confirmed will essentially fall out of the system. And this is probably the easiest way, because really you don't have to re-enter in all the information. You just go back to the website, update it, click continue, and then submit it, and then it'll be included in Artown this year.
Right. Very well said, Jim. That was succinct. Before we take questions and feedback, we want to emphasize that we know that some of your events came in March and April, and you've already made adjustments and considered modifying your events to be COVID friendly with social distancing. Maybe you're going to do masks, maybe you're going to have maybe solo events or events that are pared down. But unfortunately, the numbers are not going down nationwide. So I think this is the most prudent way to ensure that Artown moves forward with what Artown is, which is Artown is 90% you. You make up 90% of Artown events. So you are really the foundation of Artown. We wanted to have this Zoom call so that we could interact with you and see not only how your events are going. Some of you might want to pull out of your events because the venues that you were planning to hold your event at, you don't know if they'll even be open or how they'll be able to exercise social distancing with the seating arrangements on indoor events, etc. But we know that this is the most creative group community in Northern Nevada, and we want to hear from you about how your events will change, and that's what this Zoom call is about. But right now, we're adding a 4th checkbox, along with you being able to go into your event long description and make any COVID adjustments you need that would reflect what safety procedures you have in place for your events. Is that pretty much correct, Jim and Raquel? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Is that your understanding, Raquel and Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, Beth, so our legal counsel is drafting that 4th checkbox so that we are in conform with the governor's edicts here as we segue from phase 1 to phase 2. And Washoe County numbers have been flattened, and that's because everybody's staying home and wearing masks. And so recoveries are up. So we're really optimistic. But I'm here to tell you that our headliner series and our public events at Wingfield Park, they will be postponed. We're not pursuing those this year. And so if you have an event, say part of the Tuesday Dance series, or we're going to be part of one of our series on Mondays, that isn't going to be happening. We're going to postpone those in whole into 2021. That includes the events at McKinley Arts and Culture Center, but we're going to adapt those to probably be a virtual tutorial if we can manage that as a webinar and as virtual events. And those will be 22 type of events that we'd be doing with that. But many of you who are involved in the theater community and are worried about being able to host assemblages in your theaters, those seating plots and those social distancing edicts will be devastating to your event if you're doing a for-profit event. So this call, as we open up the mics, will allow you to share with us what plans, if any, you have to either postpone your event and therefore delete it from the portal, and or make those necessary modifications.
Yeah, and Oliver, I'd like to just add that even though we're postponing our headliners, we are working around that. We certainly will have a celebration of Artown. And I don't know, Oliver, are we at liberty to share with our presenters what line of work we're going in, just to put some ideas forward?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so one of the ideas that we had, which we sort of are implementing, because all of our headliners are postponed till next year, I've actually contacted every one of the artists, and they are going to create a video and a message to Artown audiences, and we're going to put them together as a show and show that actually on Artown's opening night.
Yeah, they're literally going to do a song, right? Right,
They're
Beth?
literally going to do a song. A Vertigo dance company from Israel will send us a dance number. So all of those headliners are going to be broadcast on television and streamed on Artown's opening night. So with messages to the Artown audience. So that's one idea. If people wanted to get together and do something like that, we're also going to take Artown into people's homes, because that we know people can be at home. They might not be able to be elsewhere, but they can be at home. And so we're going to try and figure out, we are figuring out how to do that. Our Discover the Arts series every weekday will be done online, but because we know that some families can't go and buy a supply list of art products, we're actually going to have Discover the Arts be an art project every day of materials you have in your house. So it will be repurposing stuff that you have in your house, so you don't have to go and buy this list of art supplies. So I'm leaving that up to the creatives who are going to be doing the classes to come up with how they would do this with children every weekday during July. So these are just some of the ideas that we've sort of been churning around. And I know that this group of people, all 71 of us, 81 now, Oliver, 81 of us,
That's amazing.
Let's find ways for you to collaborate with each other. And is there a dancer dancing on a balcony somewhere? One of the reasons one of the many reasons we can't have a little book is we want to be as dynamic as possible, so that if we add an event, and even if it's a small event like a dancer on a balcony, it can be on the website, and people can go daily to our website to see what is going on and what events are happening and who's doing what where. And so I think that it's great that things are going online, but I also think in the summer, especially, a lot of people will be tired of looking at their screen all the time. And how can we find places to find art so that it's that the power and energy of art does exist, and how can that exist without a gathering? It's a huge challenge and it's a huge ask, but 81 people on this call, I'm sure, are able to come up with a solution of what that looks like for their art form.
Right.
So
Well
if
said.
there is a way that I think there's a way, does anybody know where you can like flag if you want to talk?
Yes, this is Linda. If you go under more,
Where's more?
you can raise your hand.
Where's more?
It's on my
Bottom of your
bottom right of your screen.
Oh,
Yeah, you can click on
Mine is leave
participants
meeting.
as well.
No, not in the bottom, not the top.
Yeah.
disable video receiving.
I'm scrolling.
Mine's at the top, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
If you have a chat window open, it's 3 dots. It's the button with 3 dots.
oh,
Oh, yeah, 3 dots.
Cool.
and then okay, hold on.
And then mine has a raise hand option,
Yep.
That's
which you
it.
would use, and then you would call on people.
Yes, so I'm looking at the list, and if people raise their hand, I will call on you, and then you can unmute yourself.
Cool. Yeah, let's start getting some feedback, folks. Again, I know some of you who came in March and mid-March and late March and early April, after we extended the deadline, have already made the adjustments to go ahead and have a COVID, a publicly safe and accessible event. So we want to hear some of those ideas, and if your events have changed, how they have changed. And then we'll be opening up the portal for you, and all of your events will be reset to pending. And then until you make the change. Now, Jim, will they be able to make, will me and Raquel have to approve their event as it changes from pending to submitted? Or what is that process?
Correct. So once they go through and they go through the 4 pages, I'm imagining for most presenters, it'll be relatively quick. It'll go to you as submitted, in which case you or the office staff will have to approve it. And then at that point in time, it'll be on the website. We can open that up whenever you guys are ready and comfortable with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Oliver,
good.
we have some people who are ready to talk. So
Okay.
Emily Skyle Golden.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, guys. First, thanks for doing this because it's so helpful to all of us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was wondering, since we're going to be more fluid and have the website versus the book, for those of us that are still kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that there might be gatherings of 25 people allowed or gatherings of 50 or things that might change as we get closer to the date, will we have the opportunity to go online and then make adjustments at a later date, or is it going to be set in stone once we click that new box this time around? That might be a Jim question.
Well, as of right now, we did not even come up with this thought to be able to do fluid things. The one thing that I did think about was if presenters have like a live video feed, such as a YouTube feed, perhaps we would have a mechanism where you could submit that to the office staff and we can instantly get that on the website. So there'd be a link so people can join like a YouTube, or maybe it's a Twitter or whatever kind of venue you might have. We had not talked about allowing the presenters to edit the events once they've been approved. That's something Oliver and Beth can kind of talk about and decide.
I think it's intuitive to do this, that if your event is now, we'll reset the event to pending, and as you continue on, let's give them a window of time where they can make their adjustments. I think that makes the most sense. And
Okay.
Because there's no reason to punish anybody who's not ready in that way.
Hey, Emily,
Yeah.
I had a wild idea. Have you thought about contacting the drive-in movie theaters, and if they have a dark night, could you do movies in the park and the drive-in?
Yeah, we're already working on that as a possibility.
Because that'd be
Yeah, that's-
awesome. I think you'd have like a perfect event. You could have hundreds of people go to your movies in the park.
Yeah, so that's one option that we have. So that would be another reason why we'd want to be able to hopefully access, so we can, if we get all of that confirmed and we're able to pull it off, it'd be gorgeous to be able to get it changed on the website so people know where to go.
I believe one of the reasons we closed the presenters from being able to edit things is mainly because of the little book. And once that goes to print, you know, we don't want changes. This year, with things being so fluid, maybe we can take a look at this, and Beth and Oliver can give me some direction on how we can allow the presenters to dynamically update their events.
Perfect.
And I understand that that's a huge undertaking, so if it's not possible, I completely understand, but I just was wondering if that might be an option. So thank you for your time, you guys.
Sure. Let's hear from Linda Kennedy now.
Hi, Linda.
You need to
Unmute.
unmute. Okay, I've unmuted you.
Okay, I'm representing Truckee Meadows Quilters, and we normally hang quilts in the main library. We have been notified by the library that it will not be available in July. So my question is, would there be a place on your website where I could send you JPEGs of a bunch of quilts, and we could basically have a virtual quilt show online?
Jim?
Sorry, I had that mute. Here again, it's something that we hadn't talked about, but we could come up with maybe additional pages for the the events, like we have done for the International Sculpture Day, to include maybe some kind of gallery or links to other videos and so on. We need to talk about that for sure. This is a very good issue.
Yeah.
The reason I want to add is that we are a small nonprofit and do not have a location ourselves where we could post these pictures.
Sure, sure, I totally understand. And hosting the pictures is not a technical problem for Artown. It's just we have a small window of time to be able to put all these mechanisms in place. So definitely we need to put this one on the top of the list. I think, are there other people who would be wanting a similar mechanism?
Why don't you, if you want a similar mechanism like that, go in the chat and just say me, 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 me.
Okay.
I am now going to move on to Natalie Jones. I will unmute you. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Are you
I
there,
did it.
Natalie?
Hi guys. Hi
Hi, Natalie.
everybody. So I'm very happy to be able to be here today, and I have been in contact. Maya is a small cast. It's a Broadway duets show, and it's called Dynamic Duos. So we were planning on doing it, you know, in a venue. I've been in contact with Casey over at the City of Reno, and she thinks that I might be able to do it outside at McKinley. But I don't know how that, I mean, then we're in a weird position where it's like, do we only let so many people in, and what's the social distancing? So I'm really hoping, and I have to tell you, when I spoke with her, she really expressed how very, very important that we continue on. I'm going to get to, because it's going to be it's going to be hard for a lot of people. And if we can do some of this, that the smaller events are really, really important to get done in the summer this year. So that being said, I guess I'll just continue to stay in touch with her and see if would that work if we did, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? We are going to have these different bits of protocol that you're going to have to follow as far as, I don't know if it's masking, I don't know if it's temperature taking, I have no idea what it looks like. But there's going to be protocol that you'll need to follow, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Is like pop-up shows, but not formal gatherings, because formal gatherings is where I think you get into a weird place.
Yeah.
Right, Oliver?
You're muted.
Oliver?
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm going to let you know that Art Pause also does their event every year at McKinley, and they're making plans to have crowd control where they can have a series of barricades that don't allow a crush of people in at one time.
Okay.
Where they're allowing a staged entry to their event footprint, okay. And that's something to explore. And
okay.
If you'd like me to connect you with Michelle from Art Pause,
sure,
so you can learn. I just got an email from her today, and it would be very instructive to share resources and information. Also, I think we need to have one of us, to be jumping on the chat box so we can amplify the questions that are coming in right now on chat.
Raquel, could you do that, please?
Yeah, and then lastly, even if everything, it's just important for us to keep moving forward. This has really made me feel like I have something to look forward to. So yeah, that's it.
Good. I am going to go now to Kathy Walton, please. I'm unmuting you now.
Okay. Yeah. The Reno Pops, obviously, we're not going to be able to have anything at Bartley Ranch. And no matter what the governor says in 2 hours, we're not going to be able to do that. But I missed, how long is this portal going to be open that we can totally cancel? Or I don't know. We talked the other night about trying to figure out how to haul a grand piano out to Rancho San Rafael. I mean, really, but how long is the portal going to be open? You didn't really answer that.
I think here's what I think we're going to keep it fluid. I think we should keep it open and keep it in your court so you have a period of time to make these modifications and decisions about your event. And then as people's events move forward and are submitted and I approve them, those start to populate on the website. So I think that keeping it open a month isn't unreasonable from the time we open it. What do you think, Jim?
No, with the request of being able to edit events while the festival is going on,
Right.
this would mean that essentially it would not close.
Okay.
So the events would be kind of dynamic. We could talk more about that. I think we might have to just allow the presenters to adjust their events throughout the entire festival. And maybe whenever an event is edited, I can have a notification sent to you so that you can just, but it'll be live. We'll be trusting everybody, and what they do will go live to the website.
Yeah.
It won't be reviewed.
Jim, I do think that we need to have a notification somebody's changed their event, because I think that we need our town eyes over it. I just think we need, we just need to see what's going on.
I could certainly do that. So whenever an event is edited, even if it's live, it can send you a little notification, and then somebody in the office can review it just for, I mean, even for typos. Nobody's
right.
perfect.
That's exactly right.
Okay. There's a question about McKinley events. Someone said they missed what we said about McKinley events. And that was from the Sabbat organization, Pagan Pride. Yeah, McKinley will be open on the grounds, the exterior of McKinley. You'll have to make arrangements for porta potties, because I'm not sure McKinley as a facility will have their doors open for in and out and public assemblages. So McKinley is encouraging people who are programming there to continue with that as a location, and but you'll need to exercise best practices for social distancing and crowd control if your event is a large event like Art Pause. So I can connect all people who wanted to talk about McKinley Arts in an email. Email me at oliver@artown.org, and we can get together and do a group email thread.
Fantastic. Now we're going to go to Chrissy. It says Chrissy's phones, whoever that is.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Chrissy.
This is Christina Osland. We're doing extravaganza on the plaza. I've got some really good, I'm doing a lot of research following state mandates, six-step kind of protocol thing. I've got some great ideas about my event and any other small event having one entrance with CDC screening, where you would be taking the temperature of each person, there being a line monitor. Also rolling out seniors coming from 7 to 10, frontline employees 10 to 3, essential workers 3 to 6, public 6 to 10. If we get the media and RGJ on our side, and we have disinfectants at each POS point of sale, and then at the exit another hands-free disinfecting station, I think that some of the smaller events we can start doing, like guinea pigs. We can write up a thing to the city, which I already have. We are.
Are you finished with all the stuff out here?
Huh?
I muted them.
So go.
Go.
Go ahead, Chris.
Keep going.
So again, as long as we follow the protocols, we may be able to move through these phases, but we really have to group together as a community to do this. I mean, RGJ, KOLO, Media Blast, radio, because if we can get this so that we are following everything, and even more so, and instituting times for certain people, or that's how to manage a line and do the CDC thing. I really think that these small sole proprietor and everybody in the art world is just suffering, and the viral thing is great. I've even thought of, while people were in line, handing out pamphlets, which each vendor has, so they kind of have an idea of where to go. No lingering, no socializing. It's going to be tough, but there are things that we can do and that we can control. And I feel that, we can do this. And if we band together, we are so powerful. So let's not let anybody take us down.
Very well said. And I think some of your protocols will exceed existing protocols that are in place. Because again, America has been hit hardest in the world by this pandemic because we were least prepared to implement extreme measures and show dynamic leadership, some might say, as evidenced by our death tolls. So, you know, if masks are not mandatory, maybe we make them that way for certain events or the events or in general. We become our own policymakers like some of the states and the governors have had to do to take the lead in the absence of clear, defined paths ahead by the federal government.
Right on.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to Andrea now. Whoops.
Sorry, I'm so technically challenged. And
You got it. I unmuted.
Great.
Hi, everybody. Andrea
Hi.
Tavner with the library system. Thank you
Hi.
so much, Artown, for hosting. And I'm hoping I can get through this without getting emotional. We have gone to all virtual programming, and it looks like that may be through August 31st. So unfortunately, we will not be having any in-person programs available. But my first question is, and I apologize because I came in a couple minutes late, are the booklets going forward, or are you going completely to an online, the online portal for people to view what's happening?
Andrea, thank you. You know, you've been a critical partner in distributing the little books.
Yeah.
But we anticipate the closure of the entire library system through the summer, correct?
I cannot confirm the exact date.
Yeah.
We are looking at like in stages. We're working with, you know, we're adhering to what the governor is requesting, and our county leadership. But because we serve over 1,000 people primarily daily, we are really trying to slowly open. So yes, summer, it may not be until late summer. We really, at this point, we really don't know.
So in anticipation of venues being closed and restaurants and our traditional distribution channels being unavailable to us, we made the very tough decision to cancel a physical little book, and we're going to be leaning on a robust web presence. And I'll say that we're here for you guys. Communicate with us so that we can cover your event. And some of the times that we can cover events, media outlets will, and this is to Chrissy's point, media outlets will take that live feed from us and either archive it or show it live during their news segments. So this might be an opportunity for us to develop skills and relationships that we hadn't had in this way. And I think that Artown 2020 will be a different Artown, but it will not necessarily be diminished.
I love to hear that. And for everybody that's on this call, if you're interested in hosting something or you'd like to partner with the library system, we've gone to virtual, but we are willing to do whatever we can to try and keep our community engaged and entertained. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you come up with an idea and you think the library would be a great partner. So my other question though, just to make sure, because we have gone to virtual, if it's not something that we're going to film and then host on our website or otherwise, it will just fall off, correct?
Yes, that's going to be in your power to either cancel or delete that event from the existing portal, and therefore it will not show to public face.
Okay.
And
Otherwise,
therefore,
we go in and just mark.
Yeah, and you have a lot of events, so you're doing a lot of clicking.
This is crazy. I'm like, bleh.
Yeah.
And the other question, and I don't know if. Okay, yeah, I'll think of it. It just escaped me, so I apologize. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can still host a lot of the Artown events that were planned. I'm so sorry for the, I think it was Linda that's with the quilters. I work at the downtown Reno branch, and seeing those quilts in July, it was just amazing. So, you know, I'm sure everyone else feels the same way, just a sense of loss right now.
And Andrea, if you can get with Linda and maybe provide a digital platform for her through the Washoe County Public Library website, that would be amazing.
Okay, yeah, I'll work with her
Okay.
and our coordinator and our internet services librarian. And I'm telling you, we have band together. Yeah, our marketing team and our internet services librarian, they are rock stars.
Awesome.
And this is Linda. I appreciate it. And Oliver has my information. So
yeah, I do.
Yes,
Is
that
it
would be a
sure
great
Bianca
idea.
Or Brenda Owens, the branch manager, somebody. I got your number, Linda.
All right.
Hey, Raquel, do we have some chats?
I've just been answering them in text.
Okay, good. Very good.
Okay,
Beth?
we have lots of people who want to speak. So Shirey is next. You
Shirey?
unmuted you. I've unmuted you.
Shirey? She there?
She's looks like she's here.
Okay. Call her out again because she can hear.
Yeah, Shirey, you're up to speak if you wish. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you in a second. Let's go to Teresa. Yeah, Teresa. You're unmuted now.
There. All right, now I'm there. Yeah, hi. I'm with For the Love of Jazz, and we primarily do small group music combos or jazz combos. And of course, it's very possible that our venue won't even open. It's the pool at the Sands where we normally have a series of concerts in July. And I was thinking about, I believe, what Chrissy was talking about, I think more visual art displays, or these were places where people could come and buy products. I'm not sure what exactly her event is, but it dawned on me that perhaps we should be combining, like for instance, if we created an event that we worked in all the social distancing and we put in place handling the crowd, that perhaps having music at the event where people can enjoy the music while they're walking through and either looking at art or purchasing things. And then that way we could still weave in music, because I'm having a hard time coming up with a solution for having people come to a music event. It's a little hard to just pop them up.
Right.
No one would be there. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but it dawned on me that what if we combined events, like and literally creating something that we didn't have specifically in the portal.
Yeah, I think that it takes some communication. So if you have a person that you think you have simpatico with, do you need their access, or do you have people in mind? If so, go ahead and reach out.
Thought of it on the fly here, because I'm thinking how can we get music out in Artown to an audience without having the crowd? Well, if you already have an event where the crowd is being managed, I guess, I'm not sure what the word is, with the protocols. And if you had, a little stage behind the event where people could enjoy the music while they're going through the other visual event.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic to me. And Oliver and Raquel, is there any way we could create some sort of a listserv or some sort of a communication platform for all of our presenters to speak to each other so they can build these relationships? Because, as Teresa said, she doesn't really know who all these people are. But if there was we have it for California presenters, Raquel, a listserv where you just email and figure out those relationships, so it doesn't take up anyone's time unless they're interested in being a part of that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
And I think, Beth, that it would, and I think that we would get pretty much unanimous support on this. Let's have another one of these. Absolutely. Because by next week at this time, the portal will be open for your modifications, and probably in the next 96 hours it'll be open for your modification, or sooner. And maybe we revisit and see how it's functioning, and then we share resources and information again this same time next week. What do you think of that?
I think that's fine, but if at the same time Raquel can see some sort of a email communication, then we'll
Yes.
have both going. And I think that's just, the more communication, the better at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay, we are going to ask Patrick to speak now. I had just unmuted you. Patrick?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Patrick.
I'm with the Reno Silver Dollar Course Barber Shop group, and we're going to have a board meeting on May 19th.
Okay.
And we wondered, how long is the portal going to be available for changes?
We're going to keep it open. We're just kind of deciding on the fly to keep it open at least up till the opening of the festival, and possibly later as people need to modify their events that happen deeper into July. So that's going to be something we'll work out. But
Okay,
once
that
we
sounds
open it,
great.
we're not going to close it. We're going to keep it open until further notice. And that'll be most likely right up to the festival.
Okay, because we had a church event, and it's going to be tricky to social distance with the proximity of the pews. So we're thinking of maybe moving our event to like Reno High's football field or the I Believe sign or something, but we're worried we don't want to step on anybody else's toes that's already booked for that location and time. And we don't know how to communicate that or coordinate that.
You know what, that's why Oliver will be reading your submission, and then he will see if there's anything that's conflicting and let you know.
Can't hear. There's too much feedback.
Yeah, adjust your volume.
Patrick.
Is there a way to turn my phone off?
Yeah.
Maybe turn your volume down. Oh.
Turning the
Can
volume
you say
down.
that again? There was too much feedback. I couldn't hear you.
What part did he not hear?
Oh, about the portal staying open? Yeah, Patrick, just in a word, yes, the portal will stay open, and we're not going to preclude anybody and exclude anybody who needs that extra time to make their adjustments to their events on the fly, leading right up to the opening of the festival and possibly beyond. That's what we know at this point.
Okay, thank you, Oliver. It was actually the second part, I think, when Beth was speaking that I couldn't hear.
Okay.
But thank you for your response.
What was your question, Patrick?
It was with regard to trying to find a new venue. For example, a church that wouldn't be as practical as, say, a football field or the I Believe sign.
Oh, once Oliver gets your modification online, he will be reading it, and if there is a conflict, he'll certainly let you know.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
And I don't want to create an avalanche of interest in this option, but because I don't know what their capacity is to accommodate requests, but the City of Reno's Special Events Office can facilitate free speech zone access, which is free speech zones along the Riverwalk, including things like Brick Park, and all along near the cinemas, pretty much from the Virginia Street Bridge all the way over into the Pounding District near the hub. All of that is designated as free speech zones where political organizations, religious groups, and people who want to express their free speech, artists of course do this, can set up. That's an option for an outdoor pop-up. You do have to sort of go through a process, but it is something that our artists do every single year in greater or lesser numbers. But this year, I'm sure it'll be demand. So you want to talk to Casey over there at the Special Events Office about if that's a possibility for your event, if it isn't too voluminous.
Okay, that's a good idea. Nice tip. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, we're going to go to Cindy now. Cindy Clifton, I'm going to unmute you. There you go.
Hi, well, I guess I just had a question, so I'm not sure. We have our event scheduled at the Reno Rec Center. I'm from Yerington, so I'm not sure how big that is. And then also at a little theater in Yerington. So if we were to do the social distancing and limit our people that come in, it's going to be very few people. One thing, I guess I should have said where I'm from, Voices of Nevada Choir in Reno. And so we have been kind of doing some virtual songs online. So I guess number one, I'm a little clear on what the regulations and so forth would be as far as even 25 choir members who are singing, which, as you've read, that's not really a safe thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the recommendation would be. Like I said, we've just been trying a new thing where we've been doing some songs in a virtual choir. So I don't know if that would be an option. I don't know that that really works out to go live, other than we could do a couple songs. They could be on the Artown site, and then you could put where anybody could listen to them at any time, but then maybe have a time slot where we are being played, our virtual recording being played, or what are some ideas? What would you suggest for us as about a 25-member choir?
That's a good one. The Reno Gay Men's Choir had the same challenge because you're dealing with exhalation and creating water vapor out of your mouth.
Yes, exactly.
I cannot imagine in any scenario in this new day that a group chorus can perform live as a group. It's an unfortunate thing, but it's also common sense that you're actually going to spread the virus through water vapor coming out of
Right,
your
and
mouth.
there's no way you could sing and have good sound if you're wearing even a mask, which probably still isn't really as safe as you would like it to be.
Yeah, start exploring your virtual options. There are, there's a bunch of great videos, and Cindy, I'll send you a video where there's like 75 people performing together, and they're not in the same room. So that's really my number one recommendation.
Right. So we have started to put together a couple of songs just on our website to kind of get out there, because we were supposed to do an Easter concert. So what would that look like as far as with you guys? Could people have access to that anytime, like I said, on the Artown website? Or would you schedule us for a certain time where you'd play it? Because obviously we can't do live, but you could say Voices of Nevada will be played on our website at this time. Or, I mean, how would that look for us?
Yeah, I think that if you have a Zoom or whatever archive of the event, Jim, I think it's something that we could probably do once we get that link to that performance. We could do
think
that.
so. We're going to have to talk a little bit about that, but this meeting is giving me a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of different requests coming at us in the chat thing as well that are wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, so we just link it over to YouTube, to our site on YouTube.
Oh,
so
there you go.
We just do a link and say, we're going to play this link at such and such time. And then at our time slot, then actually people can have access to it anytime they'd like to listen. Is that?
That sounds intuitive and right and doable.
Okay.
Well, but again, Jim is going to help work that out with us.
Okay, so we have High Sierra Notes next, and there's availability for other people to chat. So please raise your little hand in this, whatever somebody, I don't even know how you did it, but I'm seeing all these little hands and I'm calling on you. So please participate if you want to speak. We really do want to hear from you. This is your meeting. So High Sierra Notes. I'm trying to unmute you.
There we go. And it's Sierra High Notes. Thank you. My name's Kevin, if you can't see the rest of my name. And yeah, again, we are a chorus, as we were just talking about. Ours is even more unique because 80% of my chorus are people in the at-risk category of being over 60 or with health challenges. We were originally scheduled for July 5th. I don't even foresee the governor's restart allowing the full open thing. So my question is, if we have any possibility, it's in the fact that we might be able to reschedule something for the end of July, and what are options open there?
I think it's a matter of communication and using the portal to make an update and keep it pending until you have something definitive. And we will exclude you during that process so that you can make those edits and updates. It'll be pending. It won't show as live to the world once we make the portal live, but many people will roll into their events as I'm approving them, as they come in from pending to submitted and then to approval. The approved ones become live as informational listings in the calendar, so people can start making their personal calendars on the mobile app and marking down which events they want to either see or physically attend if possible. But yeah, you won't be penalized for not having the knowledge of how and where or when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, if you create any, one of the things I do on our website is that I do have a link to Artown. If you have any special links for during this time, if you could please send those out, and I'll be happy to redirect people off of my website to Artown.
Nice. Thank you.
I think that's just part of community.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
Sorry about saying your name wrong. I'm going to go back to Shiri's iPhone.
Hey, Beth. Kayla Ward can't raise her hand but wants to speak.
Okay. Is Shiri there now?
Hello.
Hi, there you are.
Okay.
Hi. My name is Kayla. I'm representing the Circles of Life hoop troupe or performance dance group, but I'm also a part of Liquid Dimensions, which is a production-based company. We were going to do like a visual projection onto different art, like walls and stuff. But I think maybe it would be a good idea for Liquid Dimensions to also collaborate with maybe some of these artists who want to maybe record and then have their dance or whatever projected at a live place. I think that would be a really cool opportunity for us to be able to mix and match all of our art together. We already have like original pieces that we do, so we could blend our own original art with actual videos. And I think if we do it correctly, we could stream it to where we could use maybe somebody doing live performances, or if they wanted to record a performance, then we could have that music playing. I think that would be a good interactive way for us to all collaborate into an art piece.
That's amazing.
Sorry, Beth.
No, so you could actually project dancers doing a performance up on a building.
Yeah. If as long as we had like the recordings, or if we could potentially do it live, but it would probably be easier for us not to have the delay. If we had a preset recording, then we could do it live in essence and have a really big thing. I believe my partner, he's the owner of the company, but he's working today, so I had to kind of fill in for everybody. But he definitely wanted to do like the different murals in town. But if we can find a place where we have a big building and we have an open space in front of it, that might be an ideal way for us to practice social distancing. It's a really big thing that you can see, so everyone doesn't have to be super close for it.
Kayla, how many lumens are your projectors?
Well, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that because my partner had just gotten with a new production company who we were going to get a grant to use their projectors. But since all this COVID stuff has happened with them, production companies, especially for events and stuff, are kind of hit hard right now. So we're gonna have to reconnect with our people and see if we can still be able to get the projectors that we were planning. But we do have a few of our own projectors. They're just lower lumens.
Kayla, would you repeat your contact information, like your cell phone, twice slowly, so that people who have dance programs who are on this call can access you directly?
Okay, yeah. You're gonna want to email to my partner's business email. It's dblacksockdesigns. So DBLACKSTOCKDEZIGNS. And I'll put it into the group chat too, so you can just copy and paste it if you need to. But you can call through Kayla or through Dallas.
Awesome.
That is going to be an amazing opportunity for many people. How brilliant is that? And you know what?
How important this is to get
Oliver Peter may have some projectors.
to take place, but it's just, the
I mean,
logistics are
they
hard.
canceled the game.
And what's after?
It's
That's
a
what's
wait,
after.
it's a whole, it's a
Trying to
month.
find that person to mute them.
Cancel brain.
It's Patrick.
Just
It's Patrick.
Got him.
Okay.
Thanks,
Kayla.
I'll work on that listserv first thing today so people can get in contact with each other also.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Raquel.
And Raquel, if people need to opt in, I don't even know how it works, but you'll be able to figure it out. That's fine.
Pam Sutton wants to speak.
Okay, go ahead, Pam. Can you unmute yourself and have a chat?
Repeat that.
Hi. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. This is just awesome. I hold a visual arts show as part of Artown. This will be our 6th year, I believe. It's called Diverse Perspectives, and I have about 20 artists in my backyard, and we sell stuff and we raise money and we give part of it to the ALS Association, and I've been holding off. All of the artists have been asking me, are we a go, are we not? And it sounds to me from this meeting that as long as we can be COVID hostile by keeping them away, that it is a go. I can tell our artists that unless we go back on lockdown, we will be able to hold our venue as long as we can do the the COVID stuff.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
That is so wonderful. And also I wanted to mention to Teresa that was talking earlier about trying to put events together, that we may be able to work with you quite well on that. So we need to link up.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much for offering that. Anyone else wants to speak, Raquel?
Are the Whittingtons still here? I think they wanted to speak.
I'm here.
Hi there.
Hi. Looking at Oliver, I'm not sure that is he wearing his mask on his head? No.
Sorry, how you doing, Greg?
Good. This whole thing is, for you guys, just insurmountable. I mean, you guys are doing a fabulous job. To me, it's a little bit like trying to nail Jello to a tree. There's so much unknown, and the information is so sparse. But the takeaways for me are that we can send in stuff virtually to the website, so we can. And by the way, I also represent Voices of Nevada. I'm the president of the board, and that Raquel, if you can get that all of our names and organizations listed and made public, we can keep this going between these meetings. Beth, hats off to you for pulling this together. That's how we're going to solve this thing, is by good communication. And finally, wherever Chrissy went, I like her punch and her power. And I agree that, for us to take control back of our lives, I think we have to have a presence to do that within the system. And anything that we can do as a group politically to push, to get things open. But, I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees, but I think the sooner we get this stuff open and going, the better off our country's going to be. With social responsibility. I'm not saying just a flood of people, but I think everybody already knows. Everybody knows about social distancing, and everybody knows about wearing masks when we should and washing your hands. Anyway, so great job. Just a kind of a kudos to you guys. So if July does, I'm the optimist in my life, but if July does open up, do we have something prepared to pull a trigger on, or are we pretty sure July is not even an option?
Hey, this is what we're talking about. We want you to do things in July, just it can't be a Wingfield Park event where there's a lot of people, because that's not going to be available. Unless you really are prepared to take the COVID restrictions and own them, take people's temperatures they come in, or I don't even know what it's going to be. But yes, we want July to happen, but it will not happen the way it has always happened before. Sure. As I said, on the weekend, I closed my eyes and I thought, okay, Artown has never happened. I'm going to create an art town this year through a pandemic. What does it look like? So it's recreating and looking at the art very differently. But you guys on this conversation are the creative people in our community. And if anybody can come up with it, you can.
Well, if anybody ever saw the movie Now You See Me or whatever it was, you know, where they shined everything up on the buildings,
Yeah,
that's a brilliant idea. I think that's
it is.
really sparked something. And because listen, everybody's kind of depressed, and we have such a powerful voice in raising spirits and getting people happy again. I just hope we see it sooner than later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick.
Raquel, anybody else want to speak?
I don't have anybody else here. No.
Okay, Oliver, that's an hour. My goodness, you want to just finish this up and we
Well, oh my gosh, if everybody doesn't have to pee or anything, let's stay together. I mean, I'm not going to turn into a pumpkin at 1. I really want to hear from our dance community, Ginny Buck and Rosine Bennett, if you're still on.
I'm on.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Sorry, my camera, it's not working.
For those who might not know the restrictions that a dance company might have with gathering under the pandemic restrictions, what have you been able to do as far as rehearsing your programming, and what is your alternative Artown this year?
Honestly, it's a battle. I can't open right now because I have too many kids, and we're doing Zoom classes, but it's very, very difficult. The kids are frustrated with it.
Right.
So I don't really see how we could do this, because we would have to have rehearsals with, large groups of people. I can't really disclude anybody that wanted to do it that's on my team.
Right.
The only option I think we have is to put a video out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay close to us then. I don't know if you want to get with Kayla about a projection of something, even in archives. I think that's a great idea. This could be the movie house.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely want to put something together, some sort of video. So yeah.
Okay.
Rosine's on the line as well.
Rosine, how are you doing?
We're doing good. We have a plan for 4 phases, as the governor has done. We cannot do our full-length Giselle, which what we plan to do at the Pioneer. And we also can't do our Wingfield part, but we are our company meets every week, and we are taking class together, and we also are starting to work on a online performance. So that's what we're hoping to be able to accomplish. We have to edit it because the dancers can't be together.
Yes.
But we have to hire an editor, and that's what we're planning to do for Artown. And that's one of the things that I wanted to ask, is that would we be able to offer that, like not just as one event, but anytime anybody wanted to see it, could they go through Artown?
We could do a link to your wherever landing page that is going to be housed on, and then we could give an offer a viewing schedule if you wanted to set a viewing schedule, and they could do that, or it could be all access. Jim, I think we can make that accommodation in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we are also offering a summer camp for children. It's going to be a virtual camp, and then we're also offering a summer ballet intensive program. That's for older dancers, and that's also on Zoom. So we do have plans, and we'll certainly put that on our portal.
Excellent. Stephen Trunde, you are in a similar position. You have an indoor theater presentation every year at the Pioneer. What are your plans to adjust? We can unmute Stephen.
He also has a performance at Bartley Ranch in July.
Right. Stephen, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I can't find him on my list.
Yeah, here you go. Stephen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We have we already postponed Little Mermaid, and we moved that to September, and
okay.
I just got an email from the Pioneer, and even that's starting to look iffy.
Yeah.
Of course, Vortex we do at Bartley Ranch. I think we recorded it, so I think I have the entire show recorded. I think that's probably, I'll send you the link. And
okay. Yeah, and people can access that under your existing portal entry. If you put that in your video section, right, Jim?
Sorry, I had to unmute. We
Yeah.
should talk about how we're, in fact, I was texting Raquel about how we would be able to house and archive different videos. I don't want to waste everybody's time right now, but I'm writing these ideas down, and we should talk about this and then put something together and get it back out to the presenters as quickly as possible.
Yes, agreed. Okay, good.
And Steve,
I love the idea of the videos coming to Artown, and somehow we'll figure out somehow we'll figure this out. I mean,
yeah. Kayla?
There is a platform called Twitch where you can do live streaming and you can record, and it's a great way where you can schedule events and have a continuous live stream going on where people can connect through. You could have that link onto your website so where you can find the live performance, or like I said, you can record it so you can find whatever performance later. A lot of events that we've been doing for projection and stuff, since we can't really project, we've been doing on live stream through Twitch. It's a really great platform you might want to look into.
Right. Beth, you had something for Stephen?
yeah, what about projecting some of that performance on a building?
That would be a great idea too.
I'm definitely open for that. Like I say, we record all of our shows. So we have all of last year's Vortex from beginning to end that people can enjoy. I guess that's about all we can do. I have not talked to Joanna at Washoe County Parks yet. So I wanted to hear this meeting because I don't know what Washoe County was going to tell me.
I don't think Washoe County knows yet. Sorry, Raquel.
Yeah, I put in a call to her this morning. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, but if I hear from her today, I can email you.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
Of course, we don't want to take up all your afternoons. Can we agree that next week at this time, and you'll get another email in your inbox about an update presenter meeting, and at this time, right now we've made a count with Raquel where we had about 120 something presenters retained this year, and about 81 of them were on this call. So that is huge.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Hey, Oliver, can we just see, we never heard from anybody in the theater community. Is there anybody in the theater community that would like to speak before we head out on the rest of our day?
And we lost some people, but yeah, let's see. I saw Mary earlier.
She had to get off the call after half an hour, but I also saw Chris on the call, but maybe he's already gone too. Chris Daniels is there.
I am. Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Yeah, theater is obviously in a really interesting position. We closed our doors March 13th. All the theater companies banded together, and we've been on daily, weekly calls trying to ascertain what does opening look like for not only our cast and crew coming in to rehearse the show, but then also putting it up and sort of putting that against the financial consequences of that as well. So to mount a show, practicing social distancing, that takes our capacity down to about 20%. And that's really difficult. We're also in constant communication with our cast about how comfortable they feel and how much confidence our patrons have as well. Because one thing that we're exploring is we may enter into a phase and it could be green lights go, and yet there's still a hesitancy, especially for us in a confined space. We're part of national conversations with other community theaters, regional theaters, and equity theaters to talk about what practices they're utilizing in order to fully sanitize and disinfect the spaces. It's really tricky, especially with seats. That's kind of one of the reasons why we closed early ahead of the governor's charge, was because how do you disinfect cloth? And we have cloth seats. And so now we're exploring everything from, we're gonna get like plastic sheets to put on all of the seats, or some sort of covering that we interchange. So know that these conversations are happening, and what we've decided as a theater community is it makes perfect sense for us to all have standard protocols that are uniform and consistent, because we want to make sure that if somebody comes to our theater if and when we open, that when they go to Bruca Theater, when they go to Reno Little Theater, they're having the exact same experience. They know that we are all in collaboration and co-creation with each other to ensure that we're keeping things as safe as we possibly can. But it's tricky with our events because, you know, rehearsals obviously aren't happening. And we have to think about not only the health and well-being of our cast, but who they come into contact with. And a lot of people live with their parents. A lot of people have partners with compromised immune systems. So there's a lot of factors that we continue to explore every single day.
Well said.
So thank you so much, Chris, for participating. Oliver, would it make sense, and Raquel, would it make sense if people do have questions that they did not put in the chat or voiced themselves today, that they email us those and we can address those at the top of the meeting next week? Or as questions come along during the week, if they send us the questions, they could send them to one place, and then those could be addressed at the top of the meeting next week.
Yes, I think that would be great. Oliver at artown.org is probably the best. The other one that we have in our email is office@artown.org. All of those are forwarded to me. And then we start to address those in the order of received. I think that it's important that we send out another email that not only talks about next week's meeting, but informs you all when the portal will be alive, so that you're checking for that, and that you can make your edits if needed. What do you think, Jim?
I agree. I think that's totally doable. And when we get done with this meeting, we can talk about when we can get that portal reopened for everybody. I'd like to do that, you know, the sooner the better.
I know. I think we're close. We just need, you know, just a little bit of tweaking, and then we'll be ready to make that live. I'd like to send an announcement when it's live so that you all get it. So when you get something from Artown, please open it. Don't leave it in your inbox. Check your spam, your clutter, and junk folders, please, because this is going to be so good for all the things you're doing with the energy and intention. Is going to help heal people during this pandemic. Art is therapy. That's why we didn't cancel Artown, because we would be canceling you. And I think that that's really important that we retain it. And let's give Beth McMillan a round of applause for showing guts and leadership for not canceling Artown. That's really a big thing. It touches our heart. We have jobs and we're employed still in service of you.
Well, thank you, Oliver, but really, we owe it to all of you, and we owe it to our community to stay robust and strong and resilient, and we need to persevere, and that's going to get us on the other end of this. And our art is transformative, and it's healing. And as I say, not only are we creators, we're experimenters. So let's get out and figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can't wait to go see a movie, Emily. So when you figure something out, I'm going to get my mask and go see a movie.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I want to see them.
And you know what's interesting is we actually had a meeting like this last week, just internally at Artown. And it took like 24 hours for your head to wrap around all of this stuff. But once it does, and you look at things differently, it's like that's when the ideas flow. So just give yourself a little bit of time and you'll go, well, I heard this, or what about that? And, you know, Raquel's going to very kindly put us all together on email. And that way you can communicate and find collaborations you never knew existed. And we really are going to, so much creativity is going to come out of this. And I applaud all of you and thank you for participating with us.
All right, thanks everyone.
And Jim, thank you for listening to all of this, because my goodness, you have got a lot of work ahead of you. And thanks everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, I will schedule something for next week.
Thanks everybody. Thanks, Scott. I heard that voice.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Right on.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Right on.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Stephen, thank you. Thanks. I see you, Thomas. All right.